What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here. So in this one, we're going to be going over how I made $2,300 in one day trading in the stock market. So we have a lot to cover with this trade. I do want you guys to also realize that this is probably one of the first times that I've shown dollar amounts for some of these trades. I want you guys to see these numbers and say, okay, that's great. Use it as a little bit of motivation, but always keep in the back of your mind that percentages are key. We're going to be going over the trade breakdown, why I took this trade, the emotional risk management, trader psychology that went into this trade here. So I hope you guys are ready. This is going to be a fun one. And again, guys, if you do want to get your first month absolutely for free to the Trade 1348 platform, which is where I'm getting the ideas for most of these trades here, make sure you guys check out that link down below, code GAINZ, G-A-I-N-Z, and you would get 1 month for free. Real-time unusual options activity, all of the alerts, proprietary algorithms, the absolutely best place to come and learn to trade. So again, guys, let's get into it and roll the intro. So $2,300 in a day sounds pretty good, but what I want you guys to also realize is, again, I've been learning about markets since I was 14. I've been trading for about 5 or 6 years now. So these things are going to come with experience. So I want to first go over a little bit how I normally swing trade and what really prompted me to get into this trade that I'm going to go over with you guys in this video. So coming over to the platform here, this is typically what I am looking at in order to give myself an understanding of what could potentially be moving throughout the next couple of weeks. So you guys can see here on the platform, red light runner, these are 4-hour traffic light alerts. When we go to the chart, it's going to make a little bit more sense for you guys. But as you guys can see here, there are a lot of alerts throughout the day. Now, one of the things that we teach you guys how to do is really understand which of these are probably going to be the best ones to trade, because again, just because there's an alert doesn't mean that it's a good stock to trade. So this is 4-hour traffic light alerts. And again, the traffic lights are probably the best indication of momentum that I have ever seen. You guys know Gabe. If you don't, my business partner, Gabe, my gain's pretty good for the day. $2,300. He made $250,000. So again, guys, there are different levels to this. So looking at these alerts here, again, we have the broken traffic light, which is daily traffic light alerts, and 4-hour traffic light alerts as well. Again, code down below, link down below if you guys do want to hop in here for 1 month free. Now, this is typically what I'm using, and as you guys can see here on NVIDIA, when we put this on the daily time frame, there is a daily traffic light right here when we see NVIDIA trading at around 161, and you could have ridden this thing all the way up to about 278 right here, these recent highs. So these traffic lights are incredibly powerful. One of the main things that I do love about them is that when you're wrong small, or you even get out at a break-even trade, as you guys can see here, but when you are right very, very, very big. Let's do some math on a couple of these here. So this traffic light to the downside all the way up to these lows, 37% drop. Let's do this one right here. Traffic light to the upside all the way to, let's just say, the next traffic light here, 28% increase in the share price. Even if we're looking at this trade right here that didn't necessarily look like it panned out that well, let's say you were to have traded this perfectly, that's still a 10% drop in the stock. And even if you were to get out at the next traffic light, the stock price is still down about 1.71% since the entry. This one's an awesome one right here. You can see, let's actually be mean and actually get it from this candle here. Let's say you were late on this. This is a 59% move up. So you guys obviously can see the power of these things, but that wasn't the thesis for this trade. That's typically how I trade these things. I love trading with these traffic lights. The risk reward is awesome. And that's what thousands of people are doing on the platform every single day. But you can see NVIDIA here that after this aggressive move to the upside, it's been consolidating in this range. Now, this is the day that I entered on right here. Now, looking at this here, this little channel, you can see test the bottom of the channel, runs back up, test the bottom, runs back up, test the bottom, hangs out for a few days, runs right back up. So you can see that there is a strong level of support right around this 262, 261 range. Okay, so now let's throw this on the 5-minute time frame and take a little bit of a better look at what was happening that day. Now, we can see that this level is still applicable on this 5-minute time frame, and you can see here, NVIDIA just went on an absolute nuke mission all the way into the depths of the stock market that day. Now, again, you did see this 5-minute traffic light coming to the downside here, so these traffic light signals do work on a wide variety of different time frames here. So you can see that it drops down to this level, consolidates a little bit, starts to flicker around, and ends up closing down below it throughout that day. Now, this is not ideally what I wanted to see, but as we said before, we do need to talk about risk management. So the contracts that I had on Nvidia going into this next day here where I was able to sell up in here and make about $2,300, the contracts that I had some time on them. It's not like I was trading contracts that expired in 2 days, a week, 2 weeks. These contracts had about a month of time on them. So again, it's not enough to really limit the volatility of these positions significantly, but when we are taking trades where it looks like the move is going to happen pretty quickly, you can get away with getting a little bit less time to expiration. And obviously with less time to expiration, I sized down a little bit on this trade comparatively to the normal size that I would have taken. Now, looking at this chart here, we're only really showing you what Nvidia was doing on this day. Now, let's take a look and see what Nvidia's been doing going back to this 4-hour time frame here over the last couple of weeks. So you can see here, even if you go all the way back to January, this thing's been on a moon mission. So the buyers are here. There is a lot of demand for shares of Nvidia out in the market right now, and we've established this strong level of support. Okay, what have we also seen? Now, after I actually entered my position, Microsoft reported earnings. They talked a lot about AI. You've seen ChatGPT, lots of talks about AI. Nvidia is a leader in the AI space. Okay, now you also saw Google's earnings, which they're going to be talking about AI as well. You saw Facebook's earnings where they're talking about AI as well. Now, again, Nvidia is at these elevated levels here, but that does not mean that you can't make money on a short-term move to the upside. You can basically see on the 4-hour here, test these lows, rallies right back up to the middle of this range here. Now, would it have been great if we could get to the top of this range? Yes, absolutely. But you can't always swing for home runs in the market, guys. When I'm looking at these swing trades, ideally, I want to be able to scale out the day that I am in them. Now, today, for example, I'm back into another BABA trade. Those of you guys that have stuck around this channel for a while, you know that I love to trade BABA at very, very specific levels. So this BABA trade here, it was up about 16%. I scaled out 4 of the 10 contracts that I was holding. Again, another size down position because this is another levels trade on the daily or 4-hour time frame. These contracts have a lot of time to expiration too, so they are going to be a little bit more expensive, but I'm able to give myself a nice buffer on this trade so that not only are the contracts going to be a little bit less volatile because I have so much time on them, but I've been able to realize some of those profits so that even if the trade goes back to break even, well, technically I'm still green because I was able to realize the gains at the time that the trade was up. Now, the last thing that I really want to cover with you guys so that you guys understand my thought process going into these trades is I want to show you guys where my stop loss was going to be on the chart. Now, with options, it's going to be very difficult, especially if you're swinging them, to set a stop loss in terms of an options price versus a place on the chart. Let's say a stock is trading at 100 and the options contracts are worth, let's say, $100 each or $1 per contract. Well, if the stock goes to $95, what's the price of that option going to be? Well, you'd have to do some pretty advanced calculus. You'd also have to know what the changes in the different variables of that equation are going to be. So it's really an estimation game. So what I like to do is define my risk in terms of where the chart is or at a point on the chart. So going back to the chart here, where was my risk? Well, you can see this level here is drawn out. And again, something that I say all the time is I want you guys to think in generalities, not necessarily exacts. So you can see I have this level drawn out here at 263, but in this channel, you do see instances where we fall below and rally right back up. You can fall below, rally back up. You can flash below these levels here and rally right back up. So what was going to be my risk on this trade? Well, the most recent key level, and that is going to be 262.20. You didn't necessarily see this getting cleanly broken on this 4-hour time frame here. So again, I didn't really need to worry about that because there was a nice move up in the after hours and the contracts opened pretty green the next day, about 50-60%. I wasn't able to sell the entire position there. Again, you're not always going to be able to fully capitalize on those gains, so I was scaling out along the way. But that is where my stop would have been. Again, guys, risk management is so incredibly important when you're trading. Now, thinking broadly about risk management, swing trading versus day trading, I treat these things a little bit differently. With swing trades, there is the potential to make a lot more money in terms of percentage gains. Now, you can also lose a lot more money. So what I like to do is define my risk in terms of a point on the chart or a 20% stop loss on the position, because most of these swing trades that I have are going up 50, 60, 100, 150% when I do get them right. Now, it's very rare that I get one of these wildly wrong, but again, things do happen in the stock market. So that is where my risk was going to be, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this, a little bit more of an in-depth analysis, a live trade example of how I do trade these swing opportunities. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you wouldn't mind dropping a like down below, and make sure that you guys are hopping into the Trade 1348 platform, the best place for a new trader to come and learn to trade. It's free for your first month. Use code GAINZ, GAINZ. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.